Hi, everyone. My name is Nora Bird, and I apologize for missing the June 12th information session that was supposed to happen. And I hope that these slides and my voiceover will help you get acquainted with our LIS program at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. I appreciate your watching this video, and if you have any questions, my email address will be at the end, and you can certainly email me at any time. I'd like to start with our mission statement, and you can read it here. The thing that I like is that our program starts with the idea that we're connecting people to information rather than focusing on the information itself. So we are very oriented toward people, and we are still very oriented towards traditional organizations that lots of people call libraries, public libraries, school libraries, academic libraries, and some special libraries. And it is not that we don't teach technology, but that isn't our main focus. The main focus is on using technologies to support people in their information needs. These are some pictures of our campus. This is on the right is the School of Education building. We are on the 4th floor, and so we are we have a real physical presence, and you're welcome to visit us anytime. One of the things that I like to point out to people is that in the present climate, there is some research that shows that librarians must be fearless, savvy, and disruptive. And, think about your own motivations for being a librarian. A colleague of mine used to like to point out that a number of revolutionaries were trained as librarians. And, you know, keeping information safe, sharing information with people in a broad sense is a bit of a revolutionary idea. And our graduates serve school libraries, public libraries, community college libraries, university libraries, corporate libraries. And a number of the faculty have experience with those kinds of libraries, and we teach from that experience. So the first thing you have to know about our program is that we are accredited in 2 different ways. One is by the American Library Association, and that is very important because for most management level librarian positions throughout the United States, an ALA accredited degree is required. We call our degree a Master of Library and Information Studies. South Carolina does the same, the University of South Carolina, but many degrees are called the Master of Library Science. My own degree from many years ago was called the Master of Science in Library and Information Science. So any of those degrees, but the most important thing is that they're American Library accredited. We are also credited by the Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation Programs, and that is because we are in a school of education. This is very important for school librarians, but we have both accreditations, and that's important. So why get your MLIS? Because of all these different things that librarians do. We're concerned about information. We are concerned about people. We collect information. We care for documents and the historical importance of documents. We work in archives. We work with media. We keep track of websites. We create websites. All of those things are very important in the information landscape, and all of those can be learned in our program. So why here at UNCG? I hope I talked about that on the first slide. Again, I think it's because we are about people most importantly, and we are the number 22 program in the country, which is kind of middle of the road. So it's important to remember that we aren't the absolute best program in the country, but we are a very good program. So we do offer a face-to-face program still, but that is primarily only the core courses can be taken in a face-to-face environment completely with no online courses. The reason for that is as people go through the program and become more specialized, courses become too small for us to offer all of our courses face-to-face. But there is still a presence here. You are certainly welcome to come to Greensboro or stay in Greensboro and come to the campus anytime that we do offer a face-to-face class. But we are primarily an online program. The difference with our online program, is that the courses are not asynchronous. We teach our courses through this webinar WebEx format, and we schedule a time for that to happen every week. It's usually from 5:30 to 8:20 at night. Not all of that time is spent online. A lot of things do happen asynchronously, but we think that time to get together and talk to each other, have an interactive session can really be beneficial to students, and we think that makes our program unique, and that's an important difference to note as we go forward. So we do have a number of opportunities to interact with students outside of the classroom. We do have a library and information studies student association, LISA, and we have an alumni association with alumni all over the country, and some in foreign countries or international countries, I should have said. LISA this year, it is a chapter of the American Library Association, and this year they won Chapter of the Year, which is a very exciting award for us, and they've had just a ton of really fantastic programs, and everybody's a member as soon as you're admitted to the program. We have a career day once or twice a year to talk about, well, what do careers going forward look like? What kinds of courses should you be taking to reach that goal that you set yourself, etc. Once a year we have an Ideal Summit. We invite scholars and other people to speak about issues in librarianship. This year we had the president of the Association of College and Research Libraries, Lauren Presley, who is an alum of our program. 2 years ago we had the Archivist of the United States, Mr. David Ferrio, come and speak with us. And every year we try and look at, well, what is an issue, or who is a person who would speak to the issues that are important to librarianship going forward. We have a few iLead scholars. These are international students. We have a student from Germany right now. We have 2 from Saudi Arabia. We may have some other students coming in from other countries, and we pride ourselves on the diversity that they bring to the program. We have also had several cohorts of diverse scholars come through the program, and we have about 60 alumni across the country working in libraries who are members of underrepresented groups in librarianship. And we have practicum placements. It is not required that you do a practicum, especially if you are already working in a library, but you might consider getting some deep experience through doing a practicum, and those are usually 3 credits, 120 hours spent in a library during a semester, so about 10 hours a week, and we help you craft that experience, and we also help you identify opportunities in your area. No matter where you live, we try to help you identify places where you might connect with a organization. We also have a few virtual internships, and those can be something that you can do wherever you are. But one of them, for instance, serves a community college here in North Carolina, but we had a student who did that internship from, she was living in Mexico at the time. So it's possible to do an internship without actually having to show up 10 hours a week in person at the location. We also have a few departmental assistantships. Those get awarded in the spring for the starting in the fall semester. We have both what we call GAs, which are graduate assistants, who help us with research and with departmental duties. And we also have teaching assistantships now. We teach a course in personal information management called LIS 200, and we now have people who are teaching assistants for that program, for that course, I should say. So how much does it cost? This is from a printout of the fall 2018. 2 important numbers here. So in-state tuition, this is per credit hour, okay? Out-of-state tuition, and then it says outside North Carolina. That means, so let's say you lived in North Carolina, but you didn't have residency. You would be an out-of-state student. If you live outside of North Carolina, then you are outside North Carolina student at 51166, plus a $20 per credit hour technology fee. That's to help us pay for the webinars and also all of the technology that is free to students on campus, but for which we would have to pay an extra fee for you to use things like Adobe, Acrobat, and web creation software, other things like that. We, starting in the fall, that extra $20 per credit hour will be assessed to help pay for that. So financial aid is primarily in the form of loans for master's students. You have to be a full-time student, and to get the maximum loan that you can possibly get. Obviously, you can control the amount of the loan that you take, but if you are a full-time student, then they will maximize that loan. You can get prorated financial aid when you take over 4.5 credit hours. And that's usually 2 courses, usually 3 courses for the 9 credit hours. So one of the questions that people usually ask at this particular juncture is they ask me, well, how many courses can I take a semester? That really depends on you and your life situation. So 1 course is plenty if you have a full-time job and a family. 2 courses is doable with a full-time job and a family, but it is obviously much more of a struggle. That's 2 nights a week that you're in a webinar, and there's all the attendant reading and writing that goes along with that. If you are a full-time student, that's basically all you're doing, or you have just a part-time job, then 9 credit hours might be feasible. But any more than that is not recommended. Your advisor will try to talk you out of that. And you do get assigned an advisor who matches your interests in most of the time, or I am sort of the general student advisor. And, you know, as you go through the program, you might find someone who's a bit more focused on what you're focused on, and we do try to make those matches as closely as possible. So, so you can look at our admissions page, and you can see that here. If you download these slides, or you can actually just type in, let me just do something here. If you Google lis.uncg.edu, you will definitely get to our page, and there's an admissions page and a financial support page. But I'm going to show you what the admissions page says, and then The grad school is grs.uncg.edu. That's where you actually apply. So this is the admission. This is what you'll see on the admissions page. It has a link to the application. We ask you for 3 reference names and email addresses. When we say contact information, we usually mean email. And we will send them a quick form that they can fill out, or they can attach a letter, but you don't have to gather those and then apply. We need all of your official transcripts, and they need to be official. That means if you have a copy and you've looked at it and you got it in an envelope and you opened it up, that's not an official transcript. It needs to be sent directly to the graduate school, and there are directions in the application to tell you where your college or university should send those. And we need all of them. Your undergrad, if you went to community college and it was all transferred into college, then we don't need that community college transcript. But let's say you got another credential, maybe as a paralegal or something like that. We need that transcript, okay, because you took another degree. We need to know what happened with that. We need your master's transcript, etc. Just looking at your undergraduate, if you did well and you got a 3.5 or higher, we will waive a test score. We figure if you can do that well in undergrad, you can probably make it through graduate school. If you did another master's degree, we assume that you can do this master's degree, and we waive the test score. But if you're under 3.5 or and you don't have a master's, then we need to have that test score. It's another piece of information that we need to kind of gauge how well you will do as a graduate student. Okay? Then we need a personal statement. And this is a really important statement. We need to know why you want to spend the next couple of years going to classes and studying how to be a librarian. I found a form the other day that somebody had filled out many years ago. He was obviously struggling with the program, and he was asking for a semester off. And he basically said, I need to figure out whether I want to waste my money studying librarianship for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I mean, this is what he wrote on a form. So I can't imagine what he said to us in his personal statement. But the personal statement is really important because librarianship is a profession. You need to have sort of a calling, not like the ministry or anything like that, but it needs to speak to you in terms of this is how I want to spend my time, whether it's helping people, whether it's the intellectual stimulation of creating collections, whatever you want to do in a library, you need to be able to articulate that and talk to us about it. And we need a resume. We're not going to judge what jobs you held, but we like to see what people have been doing while they've been out of school. People often ask me who these references should be, especially if you've been out of school for a while. They don't have to be school references. They can be work references, especially supervisors, not necessarily colleagues. but supervisors, if you have been a Girl Scout leader, for instance, and you can get somebody higher up in the organization to write you a letter about, how you um, work well with others, that sort of thing. Those kind of references are okay. Um, but friends, ministers, maybe not so much. Um, uh, but you know, we will certainly look at those if you think they're relevant. Um, so this is what the application looks like for now. The graduate school is in the midst of changing over the system right now, and I can't remember when it will go live for applications. It's not live yet, I know, and so as far as I know, this is what it looks like. You are, of course, mostly probably domestic students. And you want to study either library and information studies online or on library and information studies on campus. Um, your major is either library and info studies or it's library and info studies with a school library media focus. And so those of you who are interested in serving a school library, this is what you would choose. So you get an MLIS, but you also get licensure. And if you're interested in what we call the general program, which is public libraries, academic libraries, community college libraries, special libraries, that part of the program is the general MLIS degree. If you already had a degree, then you might be looking to just get licensure for school library. That's what these programs are about, okay? So they're non-degree licensure programs. So these, actually, the deadline for spring is correct, and we are only looking at spring applications at this point. So if you started an application, you need to change it to spring 2019 as your entry date into the program. We do participate in what the graduate school calls the Visions program. You can take up to 3 courses under that program, and you will, those courses would be accepted. There may not be a lot of room in those courses for the fall. So I hesitate even to speak about it, but that is an option. So there I am. I'm Nora Bird, njbird@uncg.edu, and Dr. Lisa O'Connor is our chair. We'd be glad to answer any questions that you have, and I'm so glad that you could come and watch this video. And we will have another session in August if you'd like to actually, talk to myself and other people. And I'd be glad to speak with you on the phone, but please email me first so I can make sure that I'm at my desk. I will be going on vacation starting the end of June and going mostly through July. So it may be difficult to reach me by phone. So Thanks for your interest in the program. I think we have a fantastic program here. Um, I'm it's been surprising to me how many students are interested in joining us, but we would be happy to serve you um, as long as we have enough space in the program. Thank you very much.